Hey mathematicians, we're going to do the area model with decimals. So we're going to imagine maybe you're buying Christmas trees for every class in the school, and maybe the Christmas trees are like $89 and 55 cents. And I don't know how many classes your school has, but let's say it's like a smallish school, maybe a medium school. Let's go that it's got 23 classes. So you've got that many Christmas trees you need to buy. So we're going to draw an area model here. It's probably a tricky model compared to the lattice when you've got decimals involved, but we'll see how it goes. So we've got 20 and 3. And then we've got 89, 50 cents, and 5 cents. And you can choose any context you like. It's just Christmas at the moment. So I chose Christmas trees. So then you multiply each section out. You can do it in whichever one stands out as easiest to you. This one's standing out as pretty easy to me. 3 9s is 27 and 20 9s is 180. So I like to knock out the easy ones first to give myself some confidence. 3 80s is 240. Oh, before we go any further, we should really estimate, shouldn't we? Cardinal sin, naughty. So roughly 20 classes are buying roughly $90 Christmas trees. So we're estimating roughly $1,800 for the Christmas trees. Probably a bit more because we have 3 extra classrooms involved in that than what we estimated. All right, let's keep going. 20 groups of 80, well, 2 groups of 80 would be 160. So 20 groups of 80 would be 1,600. So that's the most expensive section of the area model. 3 groups of 50 cents is $1.50. 3 groups of 5 cents is 15 cents. So I like to keep it in cents. You know, this says 0.55, but I like to keep it as cents because that makes more sense to me. 20 groups of 5 cents is just $1. Whereas if that had said 0.05 groups of 20, like 20 groups of that would sound a lot more complex than just 20 groups of 5 cents or 25 cents. 20 groups of 50 cents is $10 because it's basically saying half of 20. Or if I have 20 50 cents, it's the same as 10 $1 coins. All right, then we've got to add this up. This is where it gets risky. So, you know, really try to find friendly numbers here. If you set this up vertically, you might get it right, but it's not really using your mental maths. It's probably better to try to just find the friendly numbers. So this is $2.50 here, so that'll help. And then if I add that on, that's $2.65. So I'm just trying to knock out friendly numbers. That is going to be 37. These ones aren't too friendly, but I can do 240 and 160 is 400. And then just add this extra 20. So that is 420. And then that's friendly with that because 1,600 and 420. So I've pretty much knocked out everything. And I'm going to combine these two and make it 2,020 plus 37 plus $2.65, which becomes $2,059.65. Let's just check that. Oh, sorry. I don't know. Oh, yep, that 50 was right. I was worried where that 50 came from, but the 20 and the 30 and the 7 and the 2 and the 65. So I think that's right. I don't know. Let's check it. It looks okay with the estimate because we were expecting more. We're expecting about $60 more. So because of the $320, the $390 thing. So it looks like it might be right. We're expecting it, about $270 more. 3 groups of 90 more than our estimate. So it looks like it could be right, but let's check it using the lattice. So $2,059.65 is parked there. Let's check it here. So the lattice is my personal favorite and what I would have actually pulled out if I wasn't making a video on the area model, because this beauty just breaks it down. Although I think the area model is better for actual place value and showing you what's really happening. So I've set up the lattice. The lattice is different in that it doesn't say 80, it doesn't say 50 cents, it doesn't say 5 cents. you need to know where the decimal place is going to go relative to an estimate, or you can say 2 places out, 2 places in. But really, if you've done an estimate, that's a bit better because we know it's going to be roughly $1,800, $2,000-ish dollars. All right, so now we've set it up. If you haven't done the lattice before, definitely watch a video on a previous lattice because this is one where I'm not going to really explain the diagonals or anything. So 3 groups of 5 is 15. Change back to my normal color, 15. 2 groups of 5 is 10. I might do all the 2s. 2 groups of 5 is 10. 2 groups of 9 is 18. Fix that 8 up. And 2 groups of 8 is 16. 3 groups of 5 is again 15. 3 groups of 9 is 27. And 3 groups of 8 is 24. Now we add diagonally. So the place values work in diagonals. My diagonals weren't perfectly drawn, but they'll work okay. But if you're just learning it, you need to be a bit more careful about drawing it neater. And especially in a grid book, of course. Freehand, you have a bit more leniency. So we're just adding 5 there. 5 and 1 is 6. 7 and 1 and 1 is 9. Here we get to be interesting. So the 2 and the 8, I'm going to combine and rename it to the next place value. And then I'm left with 5 in that diagonal. Now I have 6 and 2, and then another 2, which makes a 10, which renames 0, and then 2. So this gave us 2, 0, 5, 9, 6, 5. So then we've got to think, where does our decimal point go? We're expecting around 2,000. So if we put it here, that doesn't make sense because that would be about $20. That's less than the cost of 1 tree. If we put it here, the principal's not going to prove that. Like $20,000-ish on Christmas trees is not going to fly. So you need to think with the decimals, which place value makes sense to put it in relative to our estimate, which was about $1,800, which the only place to put it would be there. But also we put 2 decimal places out. We took this decimal point out. So you put it 2 decimal places in. You can do this whole thing. People do this whole thing where they follow the line. So they sort of go like, oh, it's like, I don't really get it with the lattice. You know, people do this whole follow the decimal point down. And I just think it's overcomplicated. We took it 2 places out. We put it 2 places in. But if you really want to understand it, it's actually relative to the estimate. We thought it was going to be $1,800, 2,000-ish. So then $2,059.65 makes sense. And that is the area model with decimals, followed by the lattice as a check-in mechanism.